Hi friends, in our time together today, I'm sharing my first practice session with the jig out on the ocean that I recently introduced. I'll put a link at the top of the notes to this video and at the end of it so that you could access the video where I introduced this jig. I'll also put a link to the page on my website from which you could download the music and tabs, and I'll put that at the top of the notes to this video. I like now and then to just share one of my practice sessions. And now and then, I share my very first practice session since introducing a tune, and today is one of those days. I introduced the jig out on the ocean a few days ago. I intentionally set it aside. I've done nothing with it. Oh dear. And I have listened to how folks play. You know, I always recommend that. Don't just pick up a tune and go, oh, what am I going to do? That's there, but you also need to know what others have done. That's going to inform, that's going to give you a wider set of possibilities than you have in your own imagination. I want us to expand our imaginations as we look at a tune. So I've done that. I've listened to people playing the whistle. I've listened to groups in a session. I've listened to people on a violin, on the concertina, and I'm going, oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like that. Or, you know, whatever. So I'm going to play it a little bit on this is the Lear high D and the Carbony low D narrow bore, because it seems to lend itself to this kind of tune more, I think. So, practice session. First practice session. First thing I do in the first practice session is I make sure I know the core of the tune. Yes, I introduced this. Yes, when I introduced it, it was a newer tune to me. And it's been sitting for a few days. And I like to leave things sit for a few days and then come back and revisit them. So this is my first revisit. That means the tune is not yet seated in my brain and my hands. And so I want to work on the core of the tune. It is from the core of the tune that I choose to ornament. And I might ornament it one day today and a different way tomorrow. And I want to experiment with the ornamentation. And if I memorize an ornamented version, then I have no latitude for that. So I memorize the core of the tune, and then I have latitude to ornament as I feel. So, a little work on the core of the tune. Remembering it's a jig rhythm. Oh well, back to where I messed up. I remember it better than I thought I would. Now, if this was a practice session and you weren't sitting here with me, I would do that 2-3 more times on the high D and then 3 to 4 times on the low D. And yes, I use both a high and the low D when I'm figuring tunes out, because sometimes I find that the way I express a tune on a high D might not be the same I do it on a low. And I want my body to know how to play it with both instruments. So I now start, okay, I do that, and I do it, and I do it. So I jump into ornamentation thoughts. It's a jig. So I want a little bit of a bouncy sense to the ornamentation, so some cuts and taps, quick rolls. I'm actually going to tongue some things lightly to accentuate some phrasing. I haven't decided yet. I like the idea of a run or two. I don't want too many. Too many of one thing and too much of the same thing is too much. So you've got to you're creating a bouncy flow, and you've got to roll with the bouncy flow of the tune. Let me show you kind of what I mean here. So I'm starting off, and I don't want to just go. I want to sort of ornament into it. So I want the initial opening to the tune, since it's a jig, to have a bit of a punch to it, just to force the rhythm before I start getting into something a little more flowy. Flowy? Yes, flowy. So. Three. Okay, I don't know. I might want to do a run right there. I don't know. I threw 2 runs in. I think I'm going to take that first run out and leave it on that second line because I'm into the flow of the tune and it feels okay. I need to establish the rhythm at the start. It's a little clumsy. Oh yeah, now a little kind of a double tap. Rather than just a single finger tap, use 2. All right, I'm going to move to the second. Like I said, my first time. I felt a lot more comfortable on the B part than the A part. I'll get into it. Promise. So, ending the A part. Since I'm probably going to ornament that last G of the A part, I'll probably just punch the intro to the B part. Okay, that B, D, E. And then I'll go to a roll on that. Or maybe like a modified crayon above it. Yeah, because you've got more fun repeated notes there. So you get a little bounce and a slide at the same time going up to that G. And then on the descents are a fun time to put ornaments in. Okay, and then I'm doing a run up in that last phrase. And then after that run up, I'm sort of punching those last 4 notes to reestablish the dominance of the rhythm. Anyway, so you could tell I've got a lot to work on. And I've spent most of the practice session using the high D, but that's okay. Let me just do a run through on the low D. When I get fumbly, I'll say something. Okay, back, start that again. Don't forget the repeats. Whew! My friends, I think I've got a lot to do. Anyway, that's some of my thinking. I'm going to refine my thinking. I can tell I'm in the early stages. I'm going to refine my thinking. I'm going to close the video now, and I'm going to play it a few more times on each of these whistles, and then I'm going to leave it alone, and I'll do it again tomorrow, just to see how I'm thinking and feeling. But now you have some of my initial thoughts on stumbling my way, how I handle my initial practice session, similar to what I've done in some other times. But you chord the tune, you start playing with some ornamentation, increase the speed, do it again. I didn't even do that today. I think that's something I'm going to wait until tomorrow to do, because I'm still in that chord the tune initial ornamentation decisions. I hope this helps you, my friends. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling.